Hello everyone, my name is Gandalin and I am back after a break with a new World of Warcraft guide. Today I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about patch 8.0.1, the Battle for Azeroth Pre-patch. This patch released with maintenance the week of July 17th and brings with it all of the major game and system changes for the upcoming Battle for Azeroth expansion. This patch does not include any of the new BFA content, so you won't see the new zones, quests, dungeons, or raids until BFA's worldwide launch on August 14th. The only new content in this patch is the War of the Thorns pre-expansion event, which will start with reset the week of July 24th. This covers the events leading up to and including the burning of Teldrassil and the battle for Lordaeron. There's a lot to get into, so let's jump right in. The first thing you'll probably notice is the stat squish. Similar to the one in Warlords of Draenor, this squish has reduced the numbers you'll see across the game. Primary and secondary stats, health, damage, everything has been made smaller. Your relative power is still the same, though you should expect a few weird things in the first few weeks, as they find instances where the squish didn't work well, particularly in older content. This time they also squished item levels. For example, Legion Legendaries were at eye level 1000, but are now at eye level 265. This change will not impact gameplay other than to make numbers more readable. Next, let's talk about artifacts. The pre-patch marks the end of our artifact weapons. All of their traits have been disabled, including their active abilities. Some traits can still be seen as new abilities, talents, and Azerite traits in BFA, but not all of them. Relics also don't improve traits anymore, however they do still increase the item level of your weapon. Our artifacts are basically just like a normal weapon now, so you'll use it until you find something better to replace it with as you level up through BFA. It's also worth noting that artifact appearances are now part of the transmog system. They're still spec-specific, but you can use them on your alts of the same class. Next up are class changes. Every single spec in the game has received some kind of change with this patch, from relatively minor tweaks to complete overhauls. There are too many details to cover in this video. If you want all the nitty-gritty stuff, check out the link in the description for Wowhead's guides to class changes. I'm just going to cover a few highlights. Marksmanship and Survival Hunters, along with Demonology Warlocks, have received major overhauls. Class raid buffs like Arcane Intellect for Mages and Battle Shout for Warriors are back. Other classes that have raid buffs again are Priests, Monks, and Demon Hunters. Many class abilities have been added to the global cooldown. Some examples include Avenging Wrath for Paladins and Avatar for Warriors. Again, you can find a complete list on Wowhead's guide. All melee abilities now scale with both attack power and weapon damage, which should make the effects of weapon damage more consistent across different classes. Bleed and Poison ticks now scale with haste across all classes, giving the stat more value for some specs. Hunter pets have been overhauled. Each family now has a set specialization, and each spec has had their abilities reworked to improve utility and make them easier to use. Tank threat has been reduced by about 75% from Legion. This shouldn't make too much of a difference on single target fights, but it means everyone will have to be more careful on AoE pulls. Human and Blood Elf racial abilities have been tweaked. And lastly, Warlocks have finally received their spell animation update. Next, let's talk about PvP changes. This patch brings a new PvP feature called War Mode, which is a new system for world PvP. War Mode can be enabled or disabled only in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, and will flag you for PvP in all zones except Sanctuaries. This means that friendly zones like Durotar or Elwyn Forest will become contested areas. When you venture out into the world, you will always be placed into a phase with other players that have enabled War Mode. This effectively removes the distinction between PvE and PvP servers. A player who does not have War Mode enabled will never see a player who does, and vice versa. With War Mode enabled, your PvP talents will always be active in the outdoor world, regardless of whether you are in combat. The talent system has also been changed. You now slot 4 PvP talents of your choice in the main talent pane. You no longer earn them by gaining honor levels, and all talents are available to max level players. To offset the inefficiency of doing world content while flagged for PvP, War Mode comes with some bonuses to experience and world quest rewards while active. You'll also be able to earn conquest points, which count toward the new weekly progress bar that awards a guaranteed piece of gear. This patch also brings some changes to the honor system. Prestige is gone, and instead you have an account-wide honor level. All the honor you've earned across your characters in Legion will be added to your total account-wide level. You'll have to log in on each character to get their honor added to your total. There are also new achievements for honor levels, and all the original prestige rewards have been transferred to the new system, including the PvP artifact appearance and its tints. There are also some new honor level rewards. Next we have some updates to the game's social features. The guild UI has been expanded and improved. It has much of the same functionality with a few new things. There's now a chat pane, which includes a chat history and in-game voice chat. There is also a new feature called Communities. You can create and join groups of other players even if they're on different servers. There are 2 kinds of communities, and they both include chat history, in-game voice chat, and the ability to create different chat channels. For World of Warcraft communities, you can invite members of your own faction from any server. It also includes calendar and quick join support. Then there are Blizzard groups, where people join via battle tag, so they can be cross-realm and cross-faction. They also work across all Blizzard games and integrate with the social tab of the Battle.net launcher. Next, let's talk about some changes to loot systems. The biggest change is that Master Looter has been removed, so personal loot is now the only loot system you can use in current content. We will still be able to trade items to other eligible players if what we get is not an eye level upgrade. Since there is going to be a lot of item trading in BFA, I highly recommend that everyone download an add-on called Personal Loot Helper. I think it's going to be invaluable since it just received an update for BFA that makes the trading process a lot easier. When it detects tradable items, it will open a window that can help you offer items to the group or request an item from another player. The more people that use this add-on, the better it will work, so make sure you tell everyone about it. You can get it from a link in the description. The one other loot change to talk about is Legacy Loot Mode. This will automatically activate when you enter an instance where you are 11 or more levels above the max level of that content. This will help everyone who runs old content for transmog. Under this system, bosses will drop the same number of items you would see if you were in a full party appropriate for that size instance. Flexible size raids will drop items as if there were 20 players in the group. All items on the loot table can drop, not just the ones for your spec, and if there are multiple people in your group, the loot will be split among them and be tradable. Next up are profession changes. The first big change is that First Aid has been removed as a profession. Bandage recipes are now part of tailoring. The other big change is that profession skill points are now split into different tiers for each expansion. This is a great change that means you won't have to level through hundreds of skill points to learn current high-end recipes. Your existing points have been distributed into these new tiers from oldest content to newest. Lastly, I want to cover a few other minor changes that are important to know about. First up are some character customization updates. Players can visit a barbershop in-game to change the color of their character's skin. Blood Elves now have face options with golden eyes, and Orcs have an option to stand upright instead of be hunched over. Second are updates to collection achievements. There are new Mount, Pet, and Toy collection achievements with new rewards. There are also new achievements for hitting Exalted with more reputations. Next are some creature model updates. Lots of low-res models have been replaced with beautiful new ones throughout the game. And lastly, Legion legendary items can now be directly purchased from Arcanomancer Vidiel in Dalaran. They cost 1,000 Awakening Essences, which drop from many new sources including world quests and class hall missions. Everyone also received 1,000 Essences in the weekly Mythic Plus chest the week the patch launched, even if you hadn't done a Keystone the week before. Legion Legendaries will function in BFA up to level 116, so they're definitely still worth getting. Make sure to check your class guides for which ones are best to use. So that's everything you need to know about patch 8.0.1, the Battle for Azeroth Pre-patch. Make sure you check the description box for a couple of helpful links with more information. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. Go follow me on Twitter, and of course, make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.